Now we're going to expand upon an observation from the breathing chapter and create a helpful rule. When you experience a panic attack, become consciously aware of your gut instinct and do the opposite. You didn't misunderstand me. I'm not suggesting this rule for major life decisions. I'm suggesting this rule for small, instinctive micro behaviors you can catch in the act during the peak fear of a panic attack. Panic fills you with powerful sensations that trick you into thinking that you're in danger, so you try very hard to protect yourself. This makes the condition worse. Phobias aren't produced by a disease, a chemical imbalance, or some terrible disorder that attacks you. Phobias are the result of chronic, excessive self-protection. They result from following your gut instinct to protect yourself from fear. This instinct systematically gives you the wrong advice when you panic. It tells you to fight, to flee, to resist, and to struggle. That would help if the problem were danger, but when the problem is discomfort, it only makes things worse. What's good for danger is fight or flight. What's good for discomfort is chill out and give it time to pass. Panic tricks you by urging you to fight or flight. That's when you need the rule of opposites. Think about a person experiencing a panic attack on an airplane. What gut instincts occur to such a person? Clutch the armrest. This creates muscular tension that adds to a sense of urgency. The opposite of clutching the armrest is to relax your arms and hands and let them rest. Let the seatbelt hold you in the chair. Close your eyes and pretend you're at home. This prevents you from seeing what is actually happening and focuses you more on your imagined version of what's happening. What you imagine will almost always be scarier than the reality. The opposite of closing your eyes is to look around and observe. When you do that, you'll see that while you're having a fear response, other passengers are reading, sleeping, and doing crossword puzzles. Watch the faces of crew for signs of fear. This puts you on constant alert, watching for signs of trouble, and keeps your anxiety elevated until the flight is over. The opposite is to periodically observe what's going on in the aircraft while tending to your own activities. Try to hide your fear. This leaves you feeling more alone and thinking you have a shameful secret. The opposite is to open up a conversation with someone sitting by you and mention that you're afraid of flying. Better yet, mention it to the flight attendant when they greet you at the door. Or think about a person having a panic attack while driving on the highway. What are their gut instincts? Grip the wheel in a death grip. Ouch, this doesn't give you better control of the car. It leaves you feeling like you're just barely holding on. The opposite is to relax your fingers, one at a time if you like, and hold the wheel more lightly. That's what power steering is for. Keep your head rigid and your eyes locked forward. There's a lot of neck and shoulder tension coming from this, and it doesn't improve your driving technique at all. The opposite is to drop those shoulders, gently move your head a few degrees to each side, and take a broad view of the road. Imagine that you're lost in the forest with a malfunctioning compass. It works, but when you travel north, the compass calls it south. Wait, don't throw it away. You can still use that compass to find your way home. You just have to remember to go the opposite direction from the one the compass indicates. So even when your gut instinct gives you the wrong advice, you can still use it as a valuable guide during a panic attack. You just have to turn it around and do the opposite of what it demands. The panic trick is diabolical. It tricks you into responding in exactly the way that will make the panic stronger and more persistent. We saw how it interferes with your breathing in the last chapter. It's practically the perfect crime. Even as you get tricked, you think you're saving yourself somehow. This is what people refer to when they say things like, "I know I make it worse," or "I'm my own worst enemy." The rule of opposites offers you a way to undo the trick. The opposite of panic. Take a few minutes to consider how following the rule of opposites would change your typical response to a panic attack. Most people, when they have a panic attack, do a number of things almost automatically. They hold their breath, tense the muscles of their legs, back, and jaw, hunch up their shoulders, look frantically for an exit, and try to hide their fear. What do you usually do? Consider your usual experience of panic in a particular situation. Make a list of your automatic responses, and for each one, write down how those responses affect you. Write down what would be the opposite of each of your responses, and how might each opposite response change the way you feel in the situation. Fear on the Golden Gate Bridge. Here's an example from my own life that illustrates applying the rule of opposites. I have a fear of heights in certain circumstances, very high, open places like tall cliffs, bridges, and rooftops. I'm usually only afraid when I'm out in the open. If I'm driving a car or looking out a window, it doesn't usually bother me. Living in Chicago most of my adult life, I've rarely experienced those high, open situations. But when I was younger, I had multiple opportunities to visit San Francisco. Whenever I visited, I would walk across the Golden Gate Bridge as part of my personal work with heights. I'd get very afraid on those walks, even though the bridge is commonly used by pedestrians. The first time I tried it, I noticed that I was walking very slowly, every muscle in my body strained tight. I was so afraid of losing my balance that I was practically scraping the soles of my shoes along the bridge surface, trying to walk without lifting my feet off the ground any more than absolutely necessary. I remembered the rule of opposites. At that moment, I really wished I hadn't remembered because I knew right away what it was telling me. I was tempted to ignore it and keep walking in the same tense way, but felt I had to taste my own medicine. I stood still for a moment, well away from the railing, of course, and then hopped up and down several times. I wasn't looking to jump off. I just wanted to do the opposite of holding my body so tensely. And guess what? I immediately felt so much better. This little hop helped for at least 2 reasons. It's hard to maintain physical tension when you hop, so my body relaxed, and I started moving around a little more quickly, though grandmothers were still passing me. Also, hopping was a silly thing to do, and it made me laugh, which is a great anxiety reducer. To stand there and hop, exactly the opposite of my gut instinct, really cut the tension and helped me feel better. The rule of opposites will be a major help to you when you practice with exposure. For now, simply keep it in mind and plan on asking yourself these questions the next time you experience panic. Is it danger or discomfort? If it's danger, protect yourself. If it's discomfort, answer these questions. What's my gut instinct right now? What's the opposite of that? Counterintuitive. What's behind the rule of opposites? What makes it such a useful tool? Another way of understanding this rule is that panic attacks and phobias are counterintuitive problems. Most problems we encounter in life are intuitive, so our gut instinct is a good source for solutions. Not so with counterintuitive problems. Here are some classic examples. You're skidding on an icy road toward a phone pole. Where should you steer? Your gut instinct is probably to steer away from that pole, but if you do, you'll be talking to your insurance agent soon. What's the opposite of that? Steer toward the pole and your car will slide away from it. You're wading toward deeper water at the beach and a big wave is rolling in. Where should you go? Your gut instinct is to rush back for shore, but if you do that, you'll be swallowing sand and seawater by the mouthful. What's the opposite of that? Dive into the base of the wave and let it pass over you. Your new puppy gets off the leash and runs away. What should you do? Your gut instinct is to chase that puppy, but if you do that, he'll enjoy outpacing you with his 4 legs. What's the opposite of that? Run away from the puppy, and now you're playing chase the owner. People don't struggle with panic attacks because they're weak or stupid. They struggle because they keep trying intuitive solutions, and panic is a counterintuitive problem. Counterintuitive problems require a counterintuitive solution. The rule of opposites will help you find good, counterintuitive solutions.